Musings and welcome back to my channel. I am Sasha with Musings of a Final Girl, and today I am coming at you with a review of Into the Drowning Deep by Mira Grant. Where to even start with this? I've got two words for you. Killer, mermaids. That automatically hooked me in. You find out relatively early that this is going to be about mermaids. Like, a couple chapters in, I was super excited, went and told my husband, "Oh my gosh, there's gonna be mermaids in it." Yes, I'm a huge nerd. I love mermaids very much, and mermaids in a horror setting is not something that I've seen done yet. So I was so thrilled to see this, and they did it so well. I'm gonna go ahead and read the synopsis on the back, and then I'll kind of give my review and what I thought about the book. So the synopsis says, 7 years ago, the Atargatis set off on a voyage to the Mariana Trench to film a mockumentary bringing to life ancient sea creatures of legend. It was lost at sea with all hands. Some have called it a hoax, others have called it a tragedy. Now a new crew has been assembled. Some seek to validate their life's work, some seek the greatest hunt of all, some seek the truth. But for the ambitious young scientist Victoria Stewart, this is a voyage to uncover the fate of the sister she lost. So as the synopsis said, she did lose her sister on the first boat that went out to do the mockumentary for the Mermaids. She got it in clips that her sister had sent her when she was aboard the ship. And from there, it just kind of jumps forward. This whole novel was set in a very finite amount of days, I think, starting from August, relatively early in August, until about September 3rd when everything kind of came to a head. I really enjoyed this. The scientific aspect was a great addition to the story. It added so much extra flavor to the story. I know that's a weird way to say that, but that's what it did. It added a lot to the story. The mermaids, great creature horror. I love the descriptions of the mermaids because they're not your typical pretty, flowy mermaids. They are some disturbing looking mermaids. They're more amphibious than they are mammalian, and it was just done so beautifully. As you're following the characters, and there were quite a few characters that we followed, multiple different characters, from hunters that were hired just as extra security, to the scientists, to just so many scientists. But they each added something new to the story, a new layer to the story overall. I'm blanking so badly right now. The horror at first definitely comes on a little more subtle. I think the first bam, in your face, horrifying moment was so quick that I almost missed it. But from there, it just slowly started to build and ramp up. There was a fair amount of horror going on the last several chapters. It was a very tense final 100 pages or so, thing after thing after thing, and it built and built and built, and I was turning my pages so fast that I basically shut off my brain to the rest of the family and said, "Do not bother me while I try to get these last 100 pages read." I was damn determined to finish it today, so I was really glad to have gotten it finished. The ending left a little bit to be desired. It wasn't bad. It made for a tense climactic ending, but it also felt kind of rushed. There was no definitive moment where things went from bad to okay. It just that. 1 minute they're we're hoping this works, we're hoping this works. The next, it's 3 days later, so it obviously worked. So the ending did feel a bit rushed right there at the very, very tail end of it, but that didn't detract from me. I was left a little meh, but I'm still rating this a 5 out of 5 stabs. I really enjoyed this. This was so good. If you love deep sea horror, if you love creature horror, if you love your science fiction-y type of horror, this is a really great read and kind of falls into all those categories. The main character, I only put quotation marks because there are several characters that we follow throughout this, but the main one, she is bisexual, so it was kind of nice to see that representation there. It didn't really take over the story because, the story wasn't about any romantic plot, it was about killer mermaids, so it focused more on that with just the tiniest bit of sprinkling of relationship romanticness in there. Very tiny. But the main character, Victoria, it was really nice to see that representation there. This, like I said, great story. 5 out of 5 stabs. I'm gonna get me a little fake knife one of these days to stab just for fun. I hope that you all are having a wonderful week, and as always, happy reading.